And we're back, and Haley, we've got so many things to accomplish in this segment. A lot of heavy lifting to do.
It's true.
Yeah, we've got so many things to cover. We want to amend our painting contest.
We're making it better.
We're making right. Oh yeah, we're never going to.
It's not a bad amendment.
Right. We decided there's no prizes. You're just competing because it'll make you feel good. No, we've increased the prizes. There's more chances to win. All of that we will explain coming up. Stick around for that. Right now, let's talk about some exterior paint projects and kind of just give the specifics on them, what you need to do, because we're getting a lot of questions online on our chat about some specific situations, and people are confused. They want to know the right products to use, and we thought let's just cover a whole bunch of them. We've already talked in the beginning of the show about the painting window, when you should be painting in the fall, when you need to quit, when you can start, all of those things. If you missed that, you're going to want to head to repcolite.com. You can subscribe to our podcast, and that way you can check it out that way. Or you can go to YouTube and just search for the Repcolite Home Improvement Show, and you can watch it in all its glory.
And subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, if you haven't done that, you are missing out.
Truly.
I mean, it is some gold. Internet gold is waiting to be discovered by you. Just search for the Repcolite Home Improvement Show on YouTube, and yeah, your day will be better. Your life will be better.
Oh my gosh.
All right? That's not too bold, is it?
It's pretty bold, but...
Yeah, let's get to the paint stuff. So we've gotten a number of questions, and one of them specifically, and I think there's a bunch of them that have been about this topic, but people are wondering, how do I paint? What do I use? All of that for aluminum siding.
Right.
My house, maybe a mobile home. And people are assuming we need specialty products.
Or that it's going to be more complicated.
Right.
That you have to use an oil-based paint. And really... it's not that complicated, and we recommend a water-based paint. So
yeah, it's a really, really great project. It's an easy way to make a big difference on the home, and it's like vinyl siding. We've talked about that in the past, and we'll talk about it, I think, at the end of this segment if we have time. But it's even easier than that, because with the vinyl siding, there's a color concern.
Limitation.
You can't go any darker than what the existing vinyl is. With aluminum, that's kind of off the table. You can go to any color you want.
Yeah.
So how do you get there? Really, it's all about prep work.
Yeah, I think when we're talking about anything, we always talk about washing whatever surface you're going to be painting first. That's really the most important step before you start painting, is getting it super clean, especially with aluminum siding, because a lot of times with that material, we see it chalk outside. And, essentially you just rub your hand against the siding, and now you've got this chalky residue. And you have to get all of that off before you start painting. Right.
So wash it with TSP. That's what. There's other cleaners you can use. That's a good one to use. You just rinse it off. Or, you wash it with TSP. You scrub it around with a scrub brush.
Yes.
That's really important.
Really important.
Then you rinse the surface clean and let it dry. Don't skip the scrub brush. We have so many people.
It's a lot of work.
It feels like a lot of work, but we've had a number of situations. I can't think of how many times I've talked to people who've hired crews to come out and power wash their home so they could paint it.
Sure.
And we sell them the paint and tell them to go home and make sure that when you wipe the siding with your hand, you're not getting any chalky residue. And if you do, you're going to have to rewash it. And almost every time, when it's just been power washed, they come away with that chalky residue. It's not been removed. Think about washing your car. If you would just drive your car into one of those little spray and wash spots
and just spray it down.
Just spray it. Don't use the little brush. How much dirt is left behind? Well, that's what you end up with just power washing it. That's where the scrubbing really is important. So do that, rinse it really well, do that quick check with your hand, make sure you don't have any of that chalky residue, and if it's good to go and clean, you just go to a water-based coating. You could go to Repcolite's Endura,
Benjamin Moore's Aura, Benjamin Moore's Regal Select, and even Ben.
Yeah, so any of those products come in an exterior product, an exterior paint. That would be a great way to go. The water-based paint is the way to go on this because it holds the color better. It bonds really well on the surface. People think it's going to be an oil that they're required to use, but oils fade quicker outside. They're more brittle.
Exactly.
It's honestly not the way to go. So in that regard, water-based paint, easy, what do they say? Easy peasy. Not easy speasy. Easy. Maybe easy speasy would work. Do you think that'd catch on?
Oh, it's really hard to say.
Well, I'm pretty good at it.
Speasy.
It's pretty easy spreezy. So now let's go to steel siding. Let's quickly talk about that.
Yes.
Is this as easy speasy as the other one?
No.
Well, it could
Potentially.
be. If it's not rusting, it's
Right.
exactly the same.
Yes.
And I guess we should say that we're not talking about anything that's new and still a little bit shiny. We're talking about weather-worn
Yes.
sidings, whether it's aluminum, whether it's steel, whether it's vinyl, anything. We're talking about something that's weather-worn,
Been around a little while.
faded, ready
Yeah.
for paint. If it's new and you just don't like the color, the prep work's a little different.
Yes.
So you're going to want to stop out at any Repcolite or Port City Paints. Tell us what you're working on. We'll get you going on the right prep steps.
Exactly.
But let's just say steel siding, it's not rusting, it's just faded. You
Then,
do
yeah.
everything like we just said and
Right.
use the same products we talked about. If it is rusting, then what?
I mean, then it just really depends on how rusted it is. Because if
Yeah.
you've just got a little bit, then that's easy enough to just sand and then spot prime and you're good to go. If it's, widespread, then I'd really recommend coming into the store, showing us pictures so we can figure out exactly what's going on. Because sometimes it's bad enough if it's pitted where we've got to fill things and it's,
Yeah. It's not as easy speasy as the other one. Pitted. Yeah, I was trying to think of what I could say about that. I was thinking about my complexion. I was thinking about things like that.
Oh my gosh.
But I got nothing, so I'm going to just move on. Let's talk about brick. Because
that is pitted.
It is pitted, right. That would have been the translation or the transition. So brick, is this easy speasy?
Yes, actually.
And that's a surprise to a lot of people.
People have the same idea, with aluminum, is that with brick, it's something that's going to be complicated to paint because it's not a substrate that we're used to painting. We're used to painting drywall. That's easy. We get it. Wood, we get it. Brick, what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do? Basically,
Clean
it's just got to be clean and dry, free of dust and all of that. And then again, a water-based product would be ideal. Now,
Yes.
a couple things to think about here. Well, one specific one. Brick, in most situations, probably all situations, it can give you the idea when you look at it that it's a color, a tan or a kind of a red color or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's not. There's all kinds of variations within each brick.
Yes.
And when you see it from a distance, it kind of gives one basic
Cohesive,
color.
right.
But really, when you look at it, that's not
So
what you're
many
dealing with.
different colors.
So when you put a solid color over it, that will change how, of course it's going to change how it looks, but even if you try to go, I've seen red ones that no longer, they don't look like brick
I
anymore.
see.
It will look like painted brick.
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to make it look like brick, just realize you are going somewhere that you can't come back from.
Right.
If you don't like that look, there's no just sanding it off or stripping it off. None of that is going to be really even reasonable.
I would say test some colors, figure out exactly what you're looking for, but understand that the color, one, is going to change the way, like you said, that brick is going to look overall.
And also
but
how it appears.
how it appears, exactly.
Because of the texture.
You've got all of this light going into crevices and then back out again. And because of all that bouncing around, the color can look completely different than it does on a flat surface.
Yeah, the ideal situation there is to have a neighbor that has a very similar house and you could sample on that house, right? I'm sure with their approval.
I would make sure that it's on the same side of the street as you, so it's facing the same direction.
Oh, you want the same exposure and all of that. Right. No, we don't advocate for that, but you do want to check it out and think about it. If you decide you want to paint, and it can be a great look, it's just a water-based paint. Any of the ones that we listed, Repcolite also has a masonry stain that will work just great on that. All right, Haley. Vinyl siding, we've talked about it in the past. Same thing.
Yeah.
Wash it down, TSP, use the scrub brush, rinse it really well. When it's dry, go to any of those paints that we talked about. No primers needed. With the vinyl siding, as we said, though, we should highlight the fact that it's got to be the same color or lighter.
Right.
If you go darker than that, there's the possibility that heating up in the sun with that new darker color on could actually warp and start to melt your vinyl siding. That happens.
Exactly.
You don't want that, so you've got to stay lighter color than what it was originally.
Yeah.
Or the same color.
And
same
Ben
color or
Moore
lighter.
has some approved vinyl colors that you could look at too, just to get you started.
All right, so quickly, the new contest rules.
Yeah.
Really, there's not that much to say. We're going to still give away the $350 Benjamin Moore paint packages to 3 random voters. We're going to explain when the voting starts. Don't worry, it has not started yet. It will start October 22. We'll launch that, and we will tell you when you can get out there and where you can go to vote. 3 people, 3 random voters will receive that $150 worth of Benjamin Moore paint. Another one, a 4th random winner from the voter pool, is going to win the same $1,000 package
as the winner,
as the main winner from our
grand prize
pool of 10 winners. It's so complicated. We will explain it more as we go. The big thing is to know that one person out there is going to win one of these packages from all of these places like Dean Veltman, Landscape Design Services, Johnson Carpet, all of the businesses that have partnered with us on this contest. You will have a choice of winning a $1,000 package as well. We will have more info when the time comes, and we'll let you know what you need to do. All right, that's all the time we've got right now. If you want to catch this one again, you can find it online at repcolite.com. I'm Dan Hansen.
I'm Haley Johnson. Thanks for listening.